Alright, here's the deal. I need this particular map to have a bigger circle with a thicker line and a much more visible line here, and another circle around the island of Barbados. That's what this is about. When I shrink this down to the size I'm going to use it, which is about here, as you can see, you cannot even see the line that's showing Barbados. You can't see the circle hardly unless you know it's there. And so it's just way too faint and small. And Photoshop doesn't make this as straightforward as it could be. So I'm going to go through the process here to show how it's done. First, go to your custom shape tool. It could say any kind of shape here, whatever you used last. I right click on that and I use the Ellipsis Tool. And then I'm going to look up here at what it is. Here it is, Ellipsis Tool, Shape, Fill. We don't want it to fill anything because that would cover up what we're doing. So we're going to click this, which makes it clear, no fill. And then the stroke is the line, and we want that to be red, which it already is, but we'll select it anyway. 50 pixels I already know is what I want the line to be as far as its width. And this is already selected as a solid line instead of dashes or dots. That's all you have to really do. Once you do that, what we want to do is go down here where this green ellipsis already is, and to make this work properly, if you want to draw a line, a circle, here's how you do it. But obviously it doesn't really, depending on where you start, your circle's not going to probably land in the right place, nor will it necessarily be a circle. So you hit the Shift key, and that makes it a complete circle, and then you want to make it about the size that you want it to be. And then without letting go of the Shift key or the left mouse button, you hit down on the space bar, and the space bar allows you to reposition your circle, and that gives us pretty much what we want. So I let go of everything, the left mouse button, and then the Shift and the space bar. And then it gives you a chance to reconfigure it if you want to. And so you can reconfigure it here if you want to change how thick it is or the color or whatever. And then we already made all those selections, so we'll hit close. And if I hit the A key, it will take me to this direct selection tool, and then I can click off of it and look at what I have, and I'm pretty happy with what it is. It's got a green shadow to it, but when I shrink it down to the size I'm going to use it, that green shadow isn't a problem. It'll just help make this more visible. So I'm good. I got it centered well, and now I want to draw another one. The other one's going to be right here. So once again, go over here. I'd hit the A key, so I'm on the direct selection tool. Now I'm going to go back to the ellipsis. U, I guess, is the shortcut for that. So we can hit U, and we'll be on that one. We're going to draw a small circle that's already here faintly. It just doesn't show up if you shrink it down. Hit the Shift key to make sure I'm getting a full circle here. And then looks like I'm right on it, pretty much where I want. I can hit the Move key, the space bar, to move it around and reposition it. That's got the Barbados Island little dot in the middle. I'm going to let go of the mouse key, and this one has a fill of red, and I'm going to try as an experiment to take away the stroke part so that it's simply going to be a fill, because it's going to leave a little black thin line if I don't do it that way. So we'll do it that way. We'll hit the close button. Oh, no, we're not, because I've got to let that show. I've got this backwards, sorry. So we don't want there to be any fill in the shape, so we're going to redo that to no fill, and we're going to go ahead and make it just the stroke. I was thinking of something else, so I did it wrong. Here we go. Now we close it. Click off of it here. Here, let's hit A. Click off of it. Yeah, there we go. So now we have a nice fat red stroke. We have a fat one down here. These are going to be visible when it's small. Go back down. Look at that. So you can see the circles now. Even with it very small, you can see the circles. So now we just need a line. Now the line tool is a little bit different. If you just want a line tool, it's crazy. If you choose line, I still haven't figured out how you can make the line fatter than its normal, just whatever the default size is. So the way around that is to go to the Ellipsis tool, right click, choose custom shape. Alright, custom shape will let you have a fill color of red, which you're going to need because it's going to draw actually two lines to make a straight line and an arrow. So you're going to want the fill to be red, and then this is where I wanted to undo the stroke, because we don't need the stroke because we're going to have a fill. So we're not trying to do lines or outlines. We're trying to do a solid line with an arrow at the end. Here is where the arrow is selected. So you can go here to shapes and you can click whatever kind of line you want. I want it to be thin, kind of, but I want it to be with just an arrow on the end. That's what's already selected. Now I could choose this one. I would make it a fatter one, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one because this gives me control over what size I want to make it. And you will see that when we go here, I want to start it at this point here, following the green line that's already there. I want to cover that up. So I go from here, and look at that. It's only going to go one way. So how do I want this line to work? I want it to work kind of like that. Alright, so there it is. We have our arrow in our line, but now we have to go to free transform. Control T takes you to free transform, and now this is the part that got me really confused at first, because this little checkbox was not checked, and as you can see, you can barely even see there's a box there, and there was no anchor point on here so I could adjust the anchor. When you try to move this around like where you want it to go, it turns both ends, and I couldn't figure out how to keep one end to be stable. So what I found out is that the new version of Photoshop has this little box you have to check, which gives you your anchor point, which now you can see here. So if we take this anchor point and we pull it down here to the center, then when we rotate, it stays at the place that you leave it. So now we can move the bottom, or right now the top, but we can move the bottom over like this, put it on the anchor point area where we want it. There we go. And then take the rotation ability and put it over here where we want it. Now we don't want it to be that long, so we'll leave it there. Trying to get it more in the middle. That didn't really help. Okay. And then we're going to make this shorter so that it's pointing at this area, but not covering it up. Okay. So now I'm going to go hit A so I can have this selection here, and then click off of it, and now I have exactly what I wanted. This is the shape of Barbados that is so small you can't see it. It's sitting in the middle of that circle, and so now when I use this particular map for Barbados, and I'm down to the size I'm going to be using it, which is like that, it's very clear where it is. Without that, this is what it looked like before. Look at that. Absolutely cannot see the line, cannot see the circle for Barbados and all of that. So this really improves this particular Barbados globe map, and it demonstrates how you do this. Thanks for watching.